Meet Finspan, the latest craze game from Stonemaier Games and the mental sequel to Wingspan and Wormspan. But it's all about fish, you see. Does it make a dive? Does it make a splash? Let's find out. At its core, it has retained everything that was in the two previous games and still has the exact same engine building mechanics. But it has some notable changes that makes it into a totally different experience. And one of the biggest ones is the cards now have a more substantial cost mechanic attached to them. So you cannot just play out super powerful cards. Secondly, all cards are now face up. So what your opponents have, you can see, and vice versa, which it makes it into a very much more nuanced and strategic option for an engine builder. And more importantly, it's not only the size that matters, but placement in this game. So where you place your fish-like creatures on the board will impact all future combos, bonuses, and other opportunities that might be created via the synergy stuff. So you also have a lot more freedom in placing them, mind you. And some fish have already been pre-printed onto the board. If you don't like your fish that you placed, you can always have it eaten. For me, of course, the biggest boon is that it solves the egg problem that Wingspan had in particular. So, man, they make a lot of weird stuff for catching fish. So there is no more egg spamming mechanics in the game anymore to get those easy points. Instead, the eggs have been substituted sort of with egg-like tokens that turn into little baby fish that in turn turn into little schools of fish. And they all also kind of can be implemented into the game, although, a small point of critique, instead of just cardboard tokens, I really miss the proper egg stuff we had with Wingspan. So this could have been maybe a little bit more better, but then again, they do have the upgrade kit. So instead, the new tokens boost abilities and create opportunities for better play. And this feels a lot better in the synergy of the engine building aspect of the Span games. So what does Finspan get right? As mentioned, the cost mechanic for the cards adds a lot more future planning moments to the game where you don't just play out whatever you can, wherever you can. You need to be very precise in terms of the final scorings and achievements. Secondly, and this may be just me, but fish just kind of make more sense in this particular engine building mechanic. You know, fish, schools of fish, predator stuff. Don't get me wrong, I liked Wingspan as much as the next guy, and it's a very beautiful game, but personally the theme of fish just kind of clicks a little better. And no, I'm not a fisherman per se. I caught a fish once, was saddened by it, and let it go back into its water, hopefully unharmed. But not everything is smooth sailing. So for me, one of the things that is a little worse for wear is the ability aspect. So in previous games, when you had like big chains of stuff you could do when playing out birds or dragons, here this is a lot more limited. And this is a personal preference thing. I just like the huge combos you could play across the board. Here, the ability is much more restrained and it makes for a more balanced gameplay experience. And the only second kind of critique is the egg stuff is cool, but it doesn't really have a lot of punch to it, you know? It's difficult to explain. When you play it, maybe you'll agree or disagree, but you know, for me, the egg aspect and the fishy aspect is just fine. In conclusion, would I recommend this game to someone who already has Wingspan and Wormspan? Honestly, that's a tough cookie. It all depends on your personal preference. For anyone who hasn't played any of the X-Span games, I would say, yeah, totally go for Finspan. It's a very nice, family-friendly way to spend a few hours. The theme is appealing, the cards are beautiful, the board as well, but it kind of boils down to your expectations of games. It's a more strategic, balanced, and immersive experience. If you loved Wingspan, you might miss the big combo swings, but at the same time, it has new layers of innovation, a lot more pre-planning is involved with the game compared to Wingspan, for example. So might take a swing at it. Aside from the personal preference point of birds versus, you know, fish, oh, and here I bought Estonia's national dish. Baltic sprouts in tomato sauce. Yummy. It's kind of down to what kind of an engine builder you're expecting. And for some people, it's going to be fantastic. So drop a comment below. What do you think about all of this? Because for me, it is not as black and blue. And otherwise, you know, like, subscribe, and reel it in, baby.